Bring your cup and take a seat. Fill it up, coffee, wine, or tea. Come find what you're looking for. A good pour.
Welcome back to A Good Pour. I'm Kathryn Good, your host. This is Conversations About Good Work. We are just filming a few new episodes for the fall. And today our guest is Kristy Edwards with Neatly Balanced. Welcome, Kristy.
Thank you.
This is our first time meeting. I love it when we have guests on that I have never met before because I just get to hear their story and hear what's going on in your life and the good work you're doing. But tell me about Neatly Balanced.
Neatly Balanced is a complete home organizing company that I launched in 2020 that just focuses on home organization with a focus on living more minimally and cleaning out things that aren't serving you and that you're not using anyway, that's just creating clutter around your house. And then we have partnered with 14 nonprofits here in Nashville, and we donate those things to organizations that are helping those in need.
So what was the passion behind starting an organizational company?
I've always been very organized. My mom says even when I was a kid, I would line up my stuffed animals and teddy bears and stuff in a certain line on my bookcase. But also it stemmed initially from my father passed away in 2010 from cancer quite suddenly. And in 2011, my mom, sister, and I took a mission trip to Honduras, and we were building a chapel that someone else had requested be named in memory of my dad. And so while we were there, I met a lady in a bakery who found out I was an American and tried to give me her 9-month-old baby girl to bring back to America to raise as my own, because she said, you'll give her a better life. And yeah, that was my reaction.
Wow.
I was speechless. I immediately started sobbing. I carried this baby around this village for about 45 minutes, just praying over her and crying. And never once did the mom come looking for me. And when it was time for us to leave to actually go catch a flight home, I had to walk the baby back to the bakery and find the mom kneading bread. And I just was like, I can't take your baby. I mean, I can't. I just
Legally.
can't. Yeah, I legally can't.
If I wanted to.
I was 27 at the time, and I was like, I also physically can't. But, and I got on the plane to head home, and I just like kind of snapped and looked at my mom, and I said, Americans are so spoiled, and we live in this land of more is more and bigger is better. And I just said, these people were the happiest people I've ever seen in my life, and none of them even had shoes on their feet. So I said, what can I do in my little corner of the world to make the world a better place? And that was all the way back in 2011. And I started organizing for people I was at the time nannying for. And just through that, found a lot of nonprofits that I don't really feel like anybody knew existed here in Nashville. And I started volunteering and learning more about them. And the passion just grew from there. And I launched my own business after that.
Wow. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think I've been to Haiti 4 times.
Okay.
And I always say, I wish I could bottle up that feeling of, I mean, I'll never forget like driving down these streets and you're looking out and it's basically all of our old VBS shirts, like on the streets being sold. And I'm going, oh my gosh, like just such, it's basically the things that we give away on their streets. It was impactful for me too.
I think most everybody on that mission trip to Honduras, we left everything behind. When we left, we were like, here's our suitcases, here's our dirty socks, here's our hairbrushes. I mean, we literally were just like, take it, we can get more. And I mean, it was easy. It was light travel coming back, but it was just heart-wrenching because they were so excited. And I was like, it's my sweaty, stinky t-shirt, but take it, you know, just really put it all in perspective.
I always wanted to bottle up that feeling of, you come back and you're just grateful and yes, they're joyful without having all the things. And I would always want to bottle that up. So when I get to in my head in America that I could just remember, but it's hard. I mean,
it is.
Okay, so tell me what feeling you get when your house is simpler and minimalistic and you're organized and you have given the stuff away.
I feel like my face says it all. I feel happiness. It really brings me true joy. And that's not something I just say. I truly feel contentment and happiness and joy when I pull up at one of these organizations with a car full of stuff. My car is currently loaded down. I'm taking a bunch of donations from here. And there's just, I don't know, it's a feeling that's hard to put into words until you see the look of appreciation on these people's faces, because I'm just like, these are all things that were discarded by someone else, but it's changing someone else's life. And it's hard to put that into words.
Yeah.
It feels good.
How about just walking around your house? Like for the person who you're organizing for, what is the feeling when you open your junk drawer and it's organized, or, your closet?
Yeah.
We talked before the show of like being organized by color in your closet,
Right.
or seasons, and being able to find something quickly. How is that good work for the person you're organizing for?
I think when we first walk in, they're very overwhelmed, and there's a lot of stress, and there's a lot of clients that are just like, I don't even know where to start, and they've kind of reached their limit. And then I say, look, this is not what you enjoy. This is what we enjoy. You go do whatever you want to do. You can stay home, you can leave, whatever. But when you come back, the house is going to be transformed. And in terms of paring down and getting rid of, I think for all of us, it's hard to get rid of things. But when we share the backstory and we tell them all the organizations we're working with and the people whose lives we're changing by giving them their things, everyone is like, oh, well, let's do this closet. Oh, well, let's go through this drawer. Oh, here, take this handbag or take this pair of shoes. When they know that it's going somewhere where they can almost like tangibly feel, the happiness from someone else, it makes them a lot more willing to get rid of things, which just makes our job easier because it's a little bit less to organize. But then, yes, when they come home or they walk in the room, it feels a little bit like extreme makeover.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, move that bus.
Yeah.
They're usually very excited.
I think for me, I'm a fairly organized person until I get real stressed, and then things start to build up, and I have to have like a spring break or something where I just go through everything. My husband and I tend to not keep things like that's our, do we need to keep this? Are we going to want this in 5 years? And if not, then that's just part of our process. But I think it would be, when I think about when my house has just gotten, okay, it's time for that organization, it would be hard, I think, to let somebody in. So
we hear that a lot.
Yeah. Because you don't know the backstory of things,
right.
Or you don't know, like, okay, this just looks like a random t-shirt to you, but it was whatever it might be. What is that process like when you're trying to understand, what someone might want to keep?
Well, as far as the keeping, that's completely up to our client. We will go through things with them if they would like us to. We also give them the option of sorting through and paring down before we get there.
You get there, yeah.
But yes, when we go in to do an initial consultation, almost every single time, the client is apologetic and, oh, I'm so embarrassed. And I always tell them, it's a very simple, what's the word? Example, I guess. But I said, you don't hire a person to mow your yard because your grass is short. Like, you don't want them to come mow grass that's already been cut. You want them to come when the grass needs cutting. So I said, it's like having your yard guy come and be like, I'm so sorry, the grass is tall. It's like, that's what I'm here for.
Right.
So that's what we always tell them. We're like, don't be embarrassed. Don't be apologetic. We do this on a daily basis. I promise you that your house is no worse than anyone else's. It's fine. But then, yeah, the paring down and the discarding of items is very emotional for most people. They're very, everything has a story, whether it was their kid's DVD or their husband's sweater. It's like, well, he wore this on our first date, or this was the first movie my child loved. But then when you realize you're really not using it and there's someone else who could, I think it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
My parents, once it's gone, they're happy.
My parents have VHS tapes still, and I'm like, do we even have a VCR?
Right.
Like, can we even watch these? And they're like, but you love this, and and
well, I tell people when it's specifically for VHSs and even DVDs, which seem so outdated now, we take a lot of those to nursing homes and memory care facilities because that's one place that still does have VCRs. And people are like, oh, I never thought about that. And I said, well, those places, they're not nonprofit, so we can't provide a donation receipt, but they are so appreciative.
Right.
So we'll go in with boxes of VHSs and DVDs, and the people are just like, thank you so much. This is great. So
what are some areas of the house that just tend to get piled up? A closet comes to mind. Or what are other areas that you're just like, the people need to go through more often and they tend to not?
Funny enough, it's attics and garages or basements. And people ask us every day,
because we just store it down there. Like, it's like, go put it in the basement.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
And people are always like, do you do that? And I'm like, yeah, we do this all the time. So those are probably the most common, but also playrooms, like kids areas. those we do a lot of those too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And kitchens, actually, kitchen pantries.
So tell me about the nonprofits. How have you just collected organizations over time that need things and need a variety of different things?
Yes. And at this point, people reach out to us. We actually just partnered. This will be our second school year with a local elementary school. And they actually reached out to me through a DM on Instagram. And it's a school, and we don't share a whole lot about them at their request to remain anonymous, but it's an elementary school where over 70% of the students live at the poverty line or below, and literally come to school in the winter without coats. And some of the kids carry their stuff because parents can't afford a backpack. So we've partnered with that school, and anytime our clients don't mind not getting a donation receipt, a lot of things go to that school's resource room. They have an entire trailer on site that they will literally take everything. So we take clothes and shoes, we take non-perishable food items, everything.
That's awesome.
So that's just one example. But yes, a lot of the other nonprofits we've found on our own, or one nonprofit will tell us about another one. So at this point, it's a roster of 14, but it grows all the time.
I mean, I didn't really think about that even as I was like thinking about this conversation of just how it's like you said, a win-win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
The house is more organized, but then you're recycling these things to people that really need them.
Yeah, it feels good. I enjoy it.
Good. Well, what does good work mean to you?
It was funny. That question really hit me more than any of the other questions when we were talking before. For me, I think it's not even a piece of the organizing. It's more personal. For me, it's doing your best. And what is your best may not be my best or someone else's best. But I think it's getting up and just saying, okay, today this is where I'm at and this is what I can do. And I'm going to do my all, even if my all is 74% today. Tomorrow it could be 99%. And a personal story for me recently was back in April, I was asked to sing the national anthem.
You sing too.
I do. I initially went to college for vocal performance. I ended up changing my major and doing psychology. But yeah, initially it was to sing. And I was asked to perform the national anthem, and I almost said no because last summer I had a little bit of a health crisis and was in and out of the hospital and ended up totally losing my voice. And even to speak, I sounded very raspy, and people were always like, "Are you sick?" And I was like, "No, this is just how my voice sounds now." And I lost the complete ability to sing. And that was so emotional for me. And it was really hard as someone who thought I was going to be a professional singer at one point in my life. And I've sung at other professional sporting events. Anyway, it was a very hard, like, do I do this or not? Because I know my voice isn't what it used to be. And I remember walking onto the field, and I was more nervous than I've been in a really long time, just because I hadn't sung, more than just in church with everybody else in church, and probably, well over a year. And when I finished the performance, I thought in my head, oh, I hope there was nobody here that knows me, that's heard me sing before, because I know that wasn't my best. Like, I know I can do better. But when I sat down after singing, I almost started crying, because it was like, I did it. Like, I got up there, I sang. No, it wasn't an A+ performance, but compared to what I was doing this time last year, it was an A+ for today. Mm-hmm. And it just, that experience has stuck with me every single day since then. Cause I was like, you know what, for that time, that was my best. And it wasn't the best it may be even today, but it just shows me that hard work and putting one foot in front of the other and consistently trying to do better, you will always be better. Yeah. And there's always room for improvement.
Love that. How long ago was that now?
This was back in April.
Okay.
So pretty recently.
Are you singing more now?
Potentially. Okay. Yeah, we'll see. Okay. There's some opportunities out there, so we'll see what happens. I hope so. I would like to get back to it.
So your clients are mainly Tennessee based? I know you go all over, but are they mainly Middle Tennessee?
Yes, mostly. I would say the bulk of our clients are in the Middle Tennessee, greater Nashville area. We do travel nationwide, and currently we have clients in 6 states that we consistently work with on an ongoing basis. Okay. But we're always looking to grow. So I always tell people, like, we'll travel anywhere.
And it's not just you have a team. How many are on your team?
There's 3, and then me. So it's a team of 4.
Team of 4.
Mm-hmm. And I could not do any of this without them. They're amazing. Yeah.
how have you just, did you try to hire or did people come to you? I feel like there's people who just love this kind of work and they would come to you and say, you know, can I help or
yeah. So my first 2 employees, I did kind of post like, I'm hiring, I need some help. And this is what the job entails. And they were interested and they both love what they do and they're really good at it. The more recent hire is actually a friend, and I reached out to her when it was a really big project and I was like, we need somebody else to help with this. And I said, hey, would you like to just help out this one time? And she was like, sure. And afterwards, she said, if you ever need me to do anything else again, I loved this. This was so fun. And I said, actually, I kind of do. So she's been with us ever since. And she's also great.
Okay. So what about photos and papers? Like, how do you go through those and digitalize them, or what do y'all tend to do with that?
Personally did it, but if they want us to, I'm not saying we wouldn't. We haven't yet. What I tell people to do, and this is so not an ad, I don't get paid for this. I wish I did. It would be great. But I tell people what I've started doing in my own house is I have done everything through Shutterfly. So, I mean, there's multiple other companies out there, but I mean, I had boxes and boxes and probably 15 photo albums full of pictures from my childhood
that we don't open and even look at.
And they were all getting stuck to the pages. And when I tried to pull them out, they were getting smeared and, you know, messed up. So I ended up taking, and I'm still working on it even now on my phone, usually like the end of every month, I have a reminder in my calendar that says upload photos to Shutterfly, and I'll upload all of them. And then usually once a year, I'll do a book of all the pictures from that year so that they're all in one place. And the books are like a quarter of an inch thick. So I'm like, you can have 20 of those and it's still way less space than a photo album and it lasts forever.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
The photos are in one spot.
Yes.
And I even try to give myself a monthly reminder to go back through the month and even delete digitally, because it's just
me too.
Because, you know, like we've gotten to the habit of we take a picture and there's 5 of the exact same picture because we just want to make sure.
Yeah.
And so then it's, you know, I just try to go back and delete them, because even that is clutter to me, you know, that I'm needing a picture and there's 5 of them on my phone. Like, we
actually did a post about that recently. One of my employees does all the content stuff for us, and she's like, we need to do a digital organization. And I was like, what does that mean? So we did that, where we sat down, and once I uploaded pictures to Shutterfly, I deleted them off of my phone, because I was like, if I need them, I can go back to Shutterfly and just put them back on my phone.
It still makes me nervous. I just feel like I need backup after backup after backup of photos, but at least they're not sitting somewhere in my office collecting dust. So, okay. Well, you just said before we went on air that you've only been home like 9 days since May.
Yeah,
so you were busy, and you clearly love what you do and why you do it. But what's a good thing that you do to just take care of you?
I mean, I love a spa day. I'm not going to lie. I'm not like uppity about too much. I really don't enjoy shopping. I really don't enjoy things. And I tell people that, like, even my family, when they're like, what do you want for Christmas? I'm like, could you just give me a facial? I don't want any more jewelry. I don't want things to clutter. I mean, I love that. I love getting a facial or getting a pedicure or something, you know, kind of pretty simple. I love to travel. My husband and I travel a good bit together. But I think, honestly, without getting too deep, on a day-to-day basis, I'm a Christian, and just taking like 5 minutes to do a quick devotion in the morning and just pray about whatever comes to mind, I feel like it really centers me. And then I also have a garden. So it's like I do my devotion, I go outside, I water the plants. I might be crazy, but I talk to my plants, and then I pick whatever is growing. Like I just picked some peppers last night when I got home, and, you know, I don't know, that brings me joy. And then I feel like it's like a free therapy.
I love that. I wish I had a garden. I couldn't keep it alive.
It's a new thing. We just did it this year.
Somebody in my house would need to tend to it, and then it wouldn't happen. So you mentioned you love a facial as a gift.
Yes.
So as someone who is getting rid of things out of someone else's house, how do you determine what to buy for someone? Do you tend to do experiences and
you mean like as gifts or for clients?
Like when I'm with your family, like, do you have this personality of not adding clutter to their house?
100%. Probably much to their chagrin at times. I will text my sister and my mom, and I'm like, okay, I realize that you guys want to do gifts. I'm not wrapping anything up for you. So do you want to take a trip? Do you want to come here? Like, my mom really does enjoy the same kind of things. So a lot of times when she comes to visit, I'll just book her a massage or a facial and be like, I know it's 6 months, but like, this is your birthday present, or this was your Mother's Day present, or for the past, I think 3 years, I've actually taken my mom on a trip, just the two of us. And it's been like her year gift. And I'm like, I'll just pay for everything. And this covers Mother's Day, birthday, Christmas, all of it. And she's really happy and enjoys it. And it's great for me. You know, I mean, none of us are getting any younger. So it's nice to just kind of have a little bit of time together. And my sister and I used to do that. And we're actually hoping to do another sister trip this year for the first time in a while. So yeah, I like to do trips.
Yeah.
Memories.
It's one of my personal core values is one of them includes experiences over things.
Yes.
So I love that.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on the podcast
Thank
today.
you.
And
Thank you
it's
for
just
having
a
me.
joy to learn a little bit more about Neatly Balanced. If anyone wants to find out about you, how can they find you?
We have a website. I always tell people, don't forget the dash. It's neatly-balanced.com. And then we're on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And it's just at Neatly Balanced.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.